Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. We'll chant Om once together. Synchronize the chanting of Om with your exhalation. Breathe in. Sahana bhavatu, sahanau bhunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Gently open your eyes. We'll chant from verses 1 to 5 of chapter 3. Arjuna Uvacha.
Arjuna Uvacha.
Jayasi chet karmanaste.
Jayasi chet karmanaste.
Mata buddhir janardana.
Mata buddhir janardana.
Tat kim karmani ghore mam.
Tat kim karmani ghore mam.
Niyojayasi keshava.
Niyojayasi keshava.
Vyamishreneva vakyena.
Vyamishreneva vakyena.
Buddhim mohayasiva me.
Buddhim mohayasiva me.
Tadekam vada nishchitya.
Tadekam vada nishchitya.
Yena shreyohamapnuyam.
Yena shreyohamapnuyam.
Shri Bhagavanuvacha.
Shri Bhagavanuvacha.
Lokesmin dvividha nishtha.
Lokesmin dvividha nishtha.
Pura prokta maya nagha.
Pura prokta maya nagha.
Jnana yogena sankhyanam.
Jnana yogena sankhyanam.
Karma yogena yoginam.
कर्मयोगेन योगिनाम्
न कर्मणामनारम्भात्
न कर्मणामनारम्भात्
नैष्कर्म्यं पुरुषोऽश्नुते
नैष्कर्म्यं पुरुषोऽश्नुते
न च सन्न्यसनादेव
न च सन्न्यसनादेव
सिद्धिं समधिगच्छति
सिद्धिं समधिगच्छति
न हि कश्चित् क्षणमपि
न हि कश्चित् क्षणमपि
जातु तिष्ठत्यकर्मकृत्
जातु तिष्ठत्यकर्मकृत्
कार्यते ह्यवशः कर्म
कार्यते ह्यवशः कर्म
सर्वः प्रकृतिजैर्गुणैः
सर्वः प्रकृतिजैर्गुणैः
Hari Om, and a very good day to all of you. So we are in the midst of a very important principle of spirituality. Spirituality means of life itself. That is sannyas, renunciation. Now, last week I was explaining to you the two usages. The word sannyas is used as a lifestyle to represent a particular kind of lifestyle. Now that is one thing. And the word sannyas is also used to refer to the internal state of spiritual growth, spiritual maturity. Actually, people have confused these two. The moment we talk of sannyas, people take it as merely a lifestyle. So since the question also was asked about the 4 stages of life, I had briefly touched upon that last week. See, what is more important in all these things is for you to take the deeper message, the sadhana message, and apply it in your life. What is the point in learning something which cannot be applied in your life? Supposing we are talking about certain practices, but it can never be applied in your life, then what is the use of investing your time, effort, energy into learning that? So in the yogic approach, we are very much conscious of this fact. Every little thing which we are learning should help us in our lives. It should help in terms of increasing or improving the quality of your life. The entire ancient wisdom has been structured with that approach only. Even when we are studying the high level principles, Now, they help in enriching your life by expanding your consciousness. It is not a mere idea or ideology. See, you should differentiate between an intellectual idea or ideology and a spiritual principle. An intellectual ideology may just titillate your intellect, excite your intellect, but that may not necessarily help you in your practical life. It may not necessarily give you an inner transformation. You may know more, but otherwise there is no utility. Whereas when it comes to this ancient wisdom, every aspect of this wisdom has something in it for your life. Provided you go into the depth of it, you use the yogic approach to derive the sadhana tips. That is the key. So when it comes to the 4 ashramas of life, the 4 stages of life, the brahmacharya, grihastha, vanaprastha and sannyasa, I gave you a small briefing about it. I'll give you a little more, I'll give you a few more points and then we will move on with the principle of sannyas, the inner state. See, what are they trying to tell you? There are 4 basic things which you need to do in life. I am telling you the principle on which these 4 ashramas is built. There are 4 basic things which you should do in your life. Number 1, learning. Now, when should we learn? We generally think it is only in the early part of our life we should learn. No. Our yogic concept is you should be a nitya shishya, eternal learner. There is no end to learning. So the first aspect of life is learning. You need to spend your time, effort and energy, a certain portion, in learning things. Whether it is with respect to your field or whether it is with respect to life in general, the principle remains the same. The second aspect of life, the second principle which you need to focus on is practicing whatever you have learnt. Without practice, the learning is never complete. Just think about a person who learns a lot about swimming in theory, but he has never entered the waters. Then his wisdom is not complete. So one is learning and the other is practicing. So learning and practicing put together will give you the wisdom about anything in life if you apply yourself consistently. So the first aspect of life, learning, was called brahmacharya. So that was symbolized as a student's life. But remember, your education should not stop with your university's degree and all that. This is a lifelong process. See, these 4 principles are to be practiced till the last day of your life. When I say last day of your life, in this birth. your existence is going to continue. The second aspect of life which is practicing was called grihastha. Griha means home. So starting a home. Home means family here. So family doesn't mean it's restricted to mere marriage. No. See, you taking up a job, your career, that is practicing whatever you have learnt in your life. That is the second aspect. Now, if you keep practicing these two principles in your life, brahmacharya and grihastha, on a daily basis, now it is a question of time. You will gain the wisdom. If you practice it, let us say, in a particular area, like for example music, now you will gain wisdom about music. You will become a seasoned musician. Here we are talking about spirituality, the inner growth. But the same principles can be applied in other areas of life as well. So in the face of brahmacharya, you should withdraw yourself. You should practice self-control. When it comes to spiritual path, what is brahmacharya? Brahmacharya means self-control, not self-denial, but self-control, being disciplined. See, unless you are disciplined and focused, you will not be able to learn anything. That is why, as a conducive time, it is said that early morning time is very good for practicing this principle, because you would have just woken up, assuming you have given yourself a good the amount of sleep, the right amount of sleep. When you wake up in the morning, you are fresh. You have not yet started your activity. So that's the best time when your faculties are alert. You can absorb maximum. And then throughout the day, you're going to be in the world, practicing of these higher principles. That is grihastha, grihastha-ashrama. Where are you going to practice them? In your family life, in your office, with your friends, the society basically. Interactive sadhana. And then the third principle is vanaprastha. So what is this principle of vanaprastha? Practicing to unwind. Just as you start something, you should also learn to unwind. That is very important. Now, the principle of vanaprastha should also be practiced very intelligently in your life. See, for example, if even when you take mastering a particular art, like music or martial arts, let us say. Now, the original system, they will give you a lot of exercises to do to improve your flexibility and so many things, your sharpness and all that. But they also ensure that enough rest is given. The winding up process is very important. Even in Hatha Yoga, in a yoga session, you should not do heavy asanas and pranayama and suddenly now get up and start walking. It shouldn't be done that way. There has to be a slowing down process and what we call as winding up. That is the principle of vanaprastha. So you start and then you peak and then you again slow down. It's a beautiful principle. That's when the system will remain intact. Even when we have when we had the empowerment session, the 22-day empowerment session, in each session we practice that, the intense sadhana, and then immediately as soon as the meditation is over, now just get up and go. I didn't suggest that. Slowly you come back. It's a process of winding up, slowly, whatever activity you've been doing. That is vanaprastha. It's very important because it helps you to get established in whatever you have done earlier, and also it helps you to conserve your energies for your next session. That is the principle of vanaprastha. And then the principle of sannyasa. You're working, now a portion of your time you should keep for yourself to just be free. Now someone has asked this question. Last week when I talked of sannyas, I referred to spending time with the family, So what he has asked is, on one hand, sannyas means being free, but you're saying spend time with the family. Now all my freedom will go away. It is not that. See, that is because today the family has become a source of stress for you because of your wrong attitude. So in the good old days, our yogis never saw the family as an obstacle to spiritual path. See, today your mind is caught up with strange concepts. So what I meant by spending time with the family when I explained about sannyas was just being free without any purpose, just relaxing and having acted for so long, now just letting go of everything and be in a purposeless state for a while. So to practicalize it, this daily schedule will help you a lot. But this is the basic principle. Some time for learning, some time for practicing, some time for winding up, and some time for relaxing. Sannyas means you are in a permanent state of relaxation, the state of sannyas, You have given up all the negativities, the stress factors, everything, and you are in your own state of bliss. That is real sannyas. But you can't start off with that. So the learning and the practice should be done definitely on a daily basis. The unwinding, you observe yourself how much you're getting worked up into, when you're functioning in life, and accordingly you apply. And the relaxation part, daily little, and weekly at least once. That is why the Yoga Vishramaha audio material has been made and given to you. Vishramaha means what? Complete relaxation. So Yoga Vishramaha, that 1 hour audio material, sadhana material, I think it's available, no? So you can download that and completely relax yourself on a weekly basis. Once a week is more than enough, because it's a very powerful audio material. So it helps you to relax at the intracellular level. So more than this 25% and age and all that, it is a question of practicing these principles in your life intelligently. So it is not that, once you reach 75, now you should stop learning. No. All these 4 aspects should become an integral part of our lives. It is not that, if you're a grihastha, if you got married now, sannyas is not for you or brahmacharya is not for you. It's not that. See, it is because of a wrong understanding of these words that this confusion has arisen. Brahmacharya is commonly translated as celibacy. Now, that has been said in a different context. Similarly, grihastha means it's been associated only with a married life. No. Whenever you're dealing with the world, it is grihastha ashrama. Whenever you are withdrawing yourself and learning, it is brahmacharya ashrama. Whenever you are relaxing, you are in sannyasa ashrama. See, this wisdom, when you understand it in the right sense, it gives you a lot of clarity about how to go about in life. Otherwise, what will happen is, generally people just, without any clarity, they just stress upon one aspect of these, out of these four aspects, they just lay a lot of emphasis on one aspect and the whole life becomes imbalanced. For example, grihastha ashrama, you get completely involved in the worldly activities. You just work, you become a workaholic and you burn yourself up. You know, the burnout syndrome, no, they talk about in the corporate world. Why? Because too much of emphasis there. It's a lopsided development, or too much of emphasis on only learning, no practice at all. There are some people like that. They go on reading books. They only keep theorizing, and anybody who comes before them, they will start giving advice. Nobody will ask them for advice, but they are ready to give. That also leads to a lopsided development. Similarly, in the name of relaxation, sannyas, giving up, some people don't take up responsibility at all. Oh, these are all worldly things. Why should I deal with them? So they become highly unproductive in life. So if you don't balance these four principles in your life, it will lead to lopsidedness. It is not conducive for you to grow spiritually. So when you practice these four aspects with respect to life, the higher principles, you will slowly grow. You will become very, very mature spiritually. If you practice these four principles with respect to a particular skill in life, you will slowly master that skill. Any skill you take, you will have to learn, you will have to practice, you will have to unwind, and you will have to give some break. Then only you can come back fresh for the next session. If you practice these four principles, you will be very successful. Even students who are preparing for examinations and all that, you can practice these four principles. Spend some time for learning. Spend some time for practicing in the sense, whatever subject you're doing, the application of the principles which you've learned to answer questions and all that. Spend some time in unwinding and give some break. Don't go on cramming yourself up to the point where you're unable to take anything more. It is quality time that matters. See, if you practice these four principles in life, you will ensure that the time spent in every activity is quality time. It is not merely the number of hours, the quantity which matters. The quality matters so much. Okay, so this is regarding the lifestyle, sannyas as a lifestyle. Since a lot of questions had come regarding that, I thought I'll clarify a few things. It is very useful to you as a sadhak. Now when we go to sannyas as a principle, that is as an inner state, That is the real spiritual principle. To be a sannyasi, to be in the state of sannyas, renunciation, you don't need to give up anything externally. It's not a necessity. See, choosing your lifestyle is up to you. It's your preference and your convenience. That is different. And your inner state of transformation is something totally different. So last week I had explained to you, true sannyas, the state of sannyas is giving up all your ego. It is not giving up external things, but it is renunciation of ego, which is sannyas. Now, that is the basic principle, the foundation, we can say. Why I straight away went into renunciation of ego is because that is cutting it at its roots. See, supposing you want to remove a plant from your garden. Now you cut the topmost portion of the plant. You just pluck one flower, or you take away one leaf or a few leaves. Now, has the plant gone away? No. It will keep coming again and again. Now then you cut a few stems. Again the plant will grow. Then you cut everything which you can see on top of the ground. And now you feel, I think now the plant has gone. But after a few weeks, again the plant will start growing. Why? Because the root is still there. So unless and until you remove the root, the plant is going to keep growing. Similarly, as long as the root of ego, the ignorance and ego, these are the roots. As long as they are there in your life, they are there within you, now the plant of negative thoughts, negative emotions, negative actions, all these things will keep on manifesting. By externally cutting off things, you are really not achieving anything. So when he says by renunciation one does not obtain perfection, he means superficial renunciation. It's like externally cutting off all the plants. By cutting off the stems and leaves and all that, you are not going to really achieve anything, he says. See, in the yogic approach, what the masters do is, they always aim at doing something fully. Either they don't do it, or if at all they do it, they will do it fully. So that is why the moment we talk of cutting off the ego, now it is getting transformed from the root level. All the negativities of your personality actually spring from ego. Ego comes from ignorance. Whether it is a negative thought, whether it is a negative idea, negative belief, whether it is a negative emotion, anger, fear, jealousy, whatever be the emotion, whether it is a negative action, even destructive actions, all these spring from this root only. That is why when we try to understand what is sannyas, giving up, when you go to the root of it, it is nothing but removing the roots of sorrow, removing the roots of stress. See, sannyas is not becoming morose. Most people think a sannyasi means one who has to be, he has to be very serious in life. Serious and morose, like this, always. It is not like that. Actually, if you truly get into the state of sannyas, you will lose all seriousness. All the moroseness will go away. You will become very light-hearted. Because it is only when you are attached to something that will cause stress. When you are detached, now you will be very relaxed and light-hearted. A yogi is one who becomes like a child, very, very light-hearted. See, these are all the manifestations of that state of sannyas. Most people think sannyas means hating the world. No. Remember, when you are attached to the world, your thoughts will keep running there uncontrollably. When you hate the world, again your thoughts will be running towards the world only. Whenever you hate something, now your thoughts will keep on running towards that all the time. Your enemies occupy your mind more than your friends. Just think about it. Observe it. You will understand. Observe what's happening within you. So sannyas or renunciation is not hatred towards the world. It is neither attachment, that attachment means becoming a slave, nor is it aversion. Why I am cautioning you is, many sadhaks get into this wrong notion. They think spirituality or renunciation means developing an aversion towards the world. So sometimes sadhaks say, now that I'm doing all the sadhana and all that, I just can't relate to the world. That's a common phrase which some people use. If you cannot relate to the world, then you have not grown spiritually at all. It means the world is disturbing you. Sannyas is a state of complete peace. The presence of the world also should not disturb you, and the absence of the world also should not disturb you. That is sannyas. If you say, supposing a person says, I am running after wealth, you will say, oh, he is not at all spiritual. Now, when the same person says, I just hate wealth, now you will think, he has reached a great state of renunciation. No. Hating wealth and being a slave to wealth, being attached to wealth, both are one and the same thing. It is the same force running in different directions. One is affected by the presence of wealth, another is affected by the absence of wealth. Both are not in the state of sannyas. A sannyasi is one who is always peaceful, relaxed. If wealth is given to him, he will enjoy. Through his honest efforts, if he earns wealth, he is going to enjoy that. Why would he be against that? He will see wealth as a manifestation of divinity and enjoy every aspect of it. For some reason, if wealth is taken away, that also will not affect his happiness or peace. He is in an exalted state. So don't reduce the state of sannyas to a state of aversion. That is why later on, when he is describing a sannyasi, when he is describing a truly spiritual person, he will say he is beyond attachment and aversion. Raga and dvesha. Raga means attachment. Dvesha means hatred. So people only know two extremes. They either they become slaves to the objects, or objects means the world, or they go to the other extreme, they hate the world in the name of spirituality. So spirituality means love, unconditional love. A sannyasi is one who generates and radiates the energy of unconditional love always. This has nothing to do with whether you're married or not married. You may be married, you may have children, you may be working. It has nothing to do with your dress. Whatever dress you're wearing, whichever country you are in, all these are not factors. Internally, what is your state? If you're full of ego, to that extent you are not grown. To the extent you have given up your ego internally, then you have become a sannyasi. So how do you practice this dimension of sannyas? The relinquishment of ego. With respect to your possessions, you can start practicing. You have your house, your own home, you have your family, you have your car, you have your cell phone, various possessions are there. Now, no doubt they are yours, that is for a functional purpose you may be saying that. But from the real sense of the term, you are not the owner. So when you start becoming grateful to the higher power for having allowed you to use these objects, to use these things for a while in your life, if you get into that attitude, that is practice of sannyas. That is why the practice of gratitude has been kept as an integral part of the yogic sadhana. I thank you, God, for giving me this home. What are you in effect trying to say? I am not the true owner. You are the owner and you have given it to me. I am an user, not an owner. So the more you move away from the spirit of ownership and the more you consider everything as God-given, then you are becoming a sannyasi. It's a beautiful sadhana which you can practice. In our yogic path, we always oblate or attribute every little success to the higher Shakti, to the Guru Shakti. See, when you go to the Upanishads, the Upanishadic masters, they were not ordinary people. They were stalwarts, spiritual stalwarts, vibrating at a very high frequency. You can't even conceive that. Now, such great people, you find extreme humility. In one of the Upanishads, he makes an astounding statement. And then he says, "Thus have I heard from my masters." He doesn't attribute it to himself. All the yogis practice that. True yogis. In every little thing, in every little possession of yours, immediately that I comes, and stands out. It is mine, it is mine. That emphasis. Of course, it is yours only. You are only going to use it. In that sense, if you say it is mine, that is okay. But no, the extra emphasis which you lay, that if you can clip off, then that is true sannyas. See here, by sannyas, one does not obtain perfection. Means by false sannyas, by false renunciation, one does not obtain perfection. So using that context, I am just giving you a few tips, few dimensions of what true sannyas is. So this is with respect to possessions. Now when we come to actions, whenever you act, The I am the doer attitude comes before your action. I am only doing it. And once a good result comes, I only achieved it. The emphasis is always on I. Usually, how the ego functions is whenever a good result comes out of your action, you immediately arrogate it to yourself. Whenever something negative happens, you immediately blame somebody else. You observe. I did properly only, but because that person didn't act like this or that person didn't, that is why this has happened. Now, practicing sannyas with respect to your action is giving your best, focusing on the action and not attributing anything to yourself. Attribute it to God, to the higher. It's the supreme power. Whatever you call as God. See, God means something higher than the human, some higher power. Even if you can conceive that, now oblating everything to that. So focusing on the action rather than the fact that I am doing the action. That is sannyas. So a yogi is one who acts dynamically in the world without the spirit of I am the doer attitude. It is called kartrutva bhavana. Kartrutva bhavana means the bhavana of kartrutva. I am the doer. Anyway, the entire third chapter is about all this only. How to refine your actions. So this will be, all these points will be coming again and again in different angles, in more dimensions will be opened up. So if you go through the whole thing, the chances are you will have to master Karma Yoga. So as far as you are concerned, when it comes to the state of renunciation, it is no doubt a state, but how do you practicalize it? You can practice these two things. One is with respect to possessions. Everything is God-given. See, when you came into this world, did you bring anything? You literally came empty-handed. Do you realize that? And then when you're going to go away, are you going to take anything with you? So just one small spoon at least I'll take. It's not possible. So in that in-between time, that is between birth and death, for a while you are using the various objects. So get into the mode of a user. It's a beautiful practice. Similarly, when you are acting, I am acting. I see, always wanting to prove to others. Instead of focusing on the quality of action, your focus is on getting a recognition out of that action. All these are symptoms of ego, where you're slipping away from the principle of sannyas. So you can consciously practice that. Whatever activity you're doing, just focus on the action and do it to the best of your ability. See, for example, right now this action of speaking is going on. Now, the speaker has a choice, either to just act, that is to speak in the best possible way, give out this wisdom and then go away. Or the focus can be on, I am giving this wisdom. The moment the focus shifts from the former to the ego, then the quality of the action will suffer. All the energy, the higher spiritual energy will go away. There will be no inspiration. The same words may be used, the same concepts may be explained, but the rasa, the depth will be missing. The spiritual depth will be missing. I am only giving you various examples so that this becomes clear and also practical for you, practicable. Otherwise, all these concepts are so high, these principles, and you will just end up merely appreciating and not putting them into practice in your life. So whatever activity you are going to do, today itself you can practice it. You may be cooking, you may be eating, you may be doing some computer work, whatever it is that you're doing. Improve the quality of that action. Focus on the action, not on the fact that I am doing that action. Start that practice. As and when those specific verses come, we'll be seeing this in greater detail. So if you start your practices now itself, as we go along in this chapter, when each of these principles are taken and when we go into more and more depth, it will become very easy for you to practice. So, sannyasa, the true renunciation, true detachment is a complete state of inner transformation. Now, the word samadhi gacchati, one does not obtain. If you remember, when we saw naishkarmyam, the word used was ashnute, obtaining. And I had given you 2 or 3 dimensions of that word ash. When you practice that, it helps you master the principle of naishkarmyam. Similarly, here when he is talking of sannyas, he is using the word samadhi gacchati, and then he also uses the word siddhim. So those 2 words are very significant. See, when he uses the word sannyas, he parallelly uses the word siddhim. Siddhim means accomplishment. Siddhim means perfection in the real sense of the term. But what are the other implications of siddhim? See, when we use the word naishkarmyam, it means actionlessness. Similarly, generally when the word siddhi is used, it means accomplishment. It means fulfillment, success. Siddhi means success. I will attain siddhi in this, means I will attain success, fulfillment in that. It means prosperity, abundance. That is also siddhi. It means welfare. Good things are happening in my life, which means I have acquired siddhis. The various dimensions, the spiritual part we'll come to. It also means perfection. It also means completeness, completing things. It means attainment, attaining the highest. So that aspect is also there. Now, why has the word siddhi been used along with sannyas? There is a particular reason. Because a common mind associates sannyas with giving up things externally. Sannyas means non-worldliness. That is how a normal person understands. So he is deliberately using the word siddhim. The word siddhim actually refers to success. worldly success and spiritual success. It is used in both sense. See, the Siddhi, supposing you take up a particular art, let's say you learn to play the flute and then you gain mastery over it. Then in the Sanskritam language it can be said, you have attained Siddhi in flute playing with respect to that particular field. So worldly success, any worldly success which you achieve, that is called Siddhi. And Siddhi also represent the inner powers, the powers of the mind, the higher mind, Commonly they call it Ashta Siddhis, Navanidhis and all that. I'm not getting into that because they can, if you're not careful, they can completely draw your mind and take you away from the main path. That is there. The different supernatural powers and all that. I mean, for the person who has it, it is not supernatural, but from a common man's perspective, I'm saying. That is also Siddhi. And then the attainment of the highest perfection, that is also Siddhi. So he has used a word which covers all the dimensions of success and perfection. There is a message embedded there. When he is talking of sannyas, he is using the word siddhim specifically to that gives the implication that here the sannyas, the true sannyas, is not about giving up the world. It is about succeeding in the world, completing things. So sannyas is not a negative state as people think it to be. It is actually a positive state. When you eat your food and when your stomach is full, now you no longer feel hungry. That is the state of sannyas. When you are feeling hungry and you deny yourself of food, now your thoughts are going to run towards food. So Siddhim means not mere worldly success, not mere success, but completing your experiences through success, through achievement. It's a very powerful word. So by renunciation one does not obtain Siddhi, means by false renunciation, by merely giving up things externally, one or two things here and there, now you really do not attain completion, he says. From a limited perspective, you can take Siddhi as success. But from a yogic perspective, success is one way through which you complete your experiences. So if you look at the word Siddhim in terms of completion, that is one powerful dimension of the word Siddhim. See, it means success, prosperity, welfare, accomplishment, fulfillment, all these things are there. But if you merely stop with those dimensions, now they are not going to elevate you spiritually. Now that is where this dimension of Siddhi comes. Siddhi means completion, completing something. So as a Jivatma, as an individual soul, you have started this journey and you need to complete it. When you complete it, you have achieved Siddhi. When you complete it 100%, in all the sense of the term, spiritually and the worldly and the spiritual journey, then you have attained 100% Siddhi. That is the state of realization, God realization, or self-realization, enlightenment. So enlightenment is the highest Siddhi. Even if you take Siddhi to mean powers, now all powers are finite. Supposing you get some wealth, certain amount of power you will get. That is better than not having any power, but it is still very limited. Supposing you have name and fame, it gives you a certain amount of power, some influence you may have in the world and all that. Now, all these are limited powers, external powers. Then when you come to the mind, the various powers of the mind, all of them can be awakened. But they are also limited when compared to the infinite. And then finally, the highest power is the infinite power, which comes when you become enlightened, when you become a sthita prajna. That is the highest form of siddhi. So he says, your goal is siddhi only, perfection. Your goal is to attain that infinite power. Here, you go on expanding the principle of siddhi. Where you will reach is nothing but the infinite. And that is why in the scriptures it is said, a yogi will never run after all these so-called supernatural powers, the Ashtasiddhis, all these things, because they are all limited. He is focused on becoming united with the infinite. And it is said, when you become one with the infinite, you don't need to run behind these powers. The powers will run behind you. You will automatically get them. You are not bothered. In the next Yoga Sankirtan sadhana material, the Maha Ganapati Dhyana, that is meant to give you siddhi, means to increase your Shakti, the powers. And we are not merely, we are not going to get stuck with these small powers. We are directly going to hit the infinite. Lord Ganesha, from the highest standpoint, represents the infinite siddhi, the infinite power within you. So that the Maha Ganapati Dhyana, the Yoga Sankirtan material, has been designed for you to attract abundance so that you can complete your experiences in life. That is the key. And you become one with the infinite. It is not to make you more worldly and get stuck there. No, it is not that. That is a lower sadhana. We are not going to get into that. It's a very powerful sadhana, the secret of the yogis, the Maha Ganapati Dhyana, it's coming. Actually, the basic things are over. I'm in the process of energizing it and finalizing the minimum maximum energy. Now once that is done, it will be ready for the release also. And when you keep doing that sadhana on a regular basis along with the other material, now you will find that you will start acquiring the siddhi. Siddhi means perfection, success in whatever you do. That's how he has been symbolized. Lord Ganesha means he is a god of success, removes all obstacles. Vignaharta, they say, Vignaharta means removal of obstacles, one who gives the success in whatever it is that you do. So true sannyas gives that siddhi, the perfection. Now here he says, false sannyas, false renunciation cannot give you siddhi, cannot give you perfection. O Arjuna, don't reduce the spiritual path to merely a set of rules and regulations. Do this, do that. It's not do's and don'ts. There are no do's and don'ts in spirituality. In every situation, the rules will keep on changing. It all depends upon the context only. That is why so much time is being spent every Sunday in explaining to you in depth the higher principles based on which you can set your rules in life. And as the context changes, as the situation changes, you yourself will change certain rules. But you will always be rooted firmly in the higher principles. So the beautiful word siddhim has been used here along with renunciation. So from one hand, if you look at sannyas, it looks as if you have given up, detachment. When we say detachment, it means giving up, no? But on the other hand, he says, true sannyas will give you siddhim. Siddhim means perfection, completion. It will complete all your experiences and you will become a full person. I want you to focus on this word, that is the combination. One is to absorb the energy of sannyas separately. The other is in conjunction with this word siddhim. When you absorb the energy of sannyas and siddhi, both put together, now that gives you a completely different dimension altogether. Because sannyas means giving up, siddhim means filling yourself up. So what are they asking you to give up? They are asking you to give up all the wrong things, things which agitate you, things which cause sorrow in you. See, that is why Lord Ganesha's personality, has been described, where he is called Mangalamurti. Mangalam means auspiciousness. Where the moment he was born, it is said that the flowers started blooming. There was joy and cheer everywhere around, because he is established permanently in the state of sannyas. He is coming down from there. And what is that 100% sannyas? That is nothing but 100% siddhim, perfection. See, each of the God actually is a direct manifestation of the infinite, whether it is Mahavishnu, whether it is Mahashiva, Shakti, three Shaktis, Parvati, Lakshmi and Saraswati. Then you have Lord Vinayaka, which is what we are going to do in the near future, the Mahaganapati Dhyana. Then you have Lord Muruga. All of them are direct manifestations of the infinite, but manifesting one or two special dimension of the infinite. That is why in the yogic sadhana, we combine and do all the sadhana together. I see even the Yoga Sankirtan material is being created on the same lines. So by that, it's just that each material is, to create each material is a little time consuming. But if you can be a little patient, the whole structure will be out. It's a question of time. That is a divine plan, So each of these manifestations, they emphasize on a particular dimension of the infinite. Lord Ganesha emphasizes on completion, siddhi, on perfection, abundance. So when you join the word siddhi and the sannyas, and when you look at them together, now your understanding of sannyas will deepen. Now sannyas is no longer a state of giving up, it is a state of getting fulfilled. It is no longer a negative state, it is a very positive state of completion. When you have, let us say, for example, millions of rupees with you, billions. Now supposing 1,000 rupees is being given to you or taken away from you. Now that is not going to make any difference. With respect to 1,000 rupees, you are in a state of sannyas, temporarily. This is just an example. Don't now stretch this example. I am not saying billionaires are sannyasis. That's not what I am saying. Just an example to illustrate a point. Always take the gist of what I am trying to explain to you. Now similarly, if you can stretch that concept, a person who has attained perfection, who has become one with the infinite, that's Siddhim. Now, how will he view the world? He will be in a state of sannyas. The presence or absence of the world is not going to affect him in any way, because he is in a state of paripurna, the state of supreme siddhim. Ananta Siddhi means the infinite perfection. Oh, this has happened. People, lakhs of people are coming and they are all going to fall at your feet. What does it matter to him? Nothing. Oh, that person, he spoke ill of you. Now, what does it matter to him? Because he is in a state of Ananta, infinite, that supreme state of Siddhim. Along with the explanations, I'm also again and again using the Sanskrit words like sannyas, siddhim, again and again, so that you start absorbing those vibrations also. The original words have their own beauty, their own vibrations, All these explanations will intensify those vibrations. So, what is your goal in life? Your goal in life is to become a siddha. A siddha is one who has attained the infinite siddhi. See, generally, even the word siddha, siddhas are understood as one who has these lower powers, the ashtasiddhis and all that. No. As I told you, power means right from the world. Even when you acquire wealth, you get power. Different grades of power are there. First, the powers of the world are there. Then the inner powers of the mind are there, which are those ashtasiddhis and all that. Then you have the highest power, which is the power of the infinite. Now, who is a true siddha? The siddha is one who has attained the highest power, the infinite power, the ultimate siddhi. So when you are somewhere in between, you may call yourself a siddha, but definitely there is a long gap. So a true siddha is one who has attained the infinite siddhi through the process of sannyas, by reaching the state of sannyas. So when it is with respect to the world, we call it sannyas, detachment. A true yogi is one who has become one with the infinite. That is a generalized statement. Now, when we take the dimension of Siddhi from the infinite, we get a lot of insights into what true sannyas is. So that is your goal. Your goal is to complete your experiences and become one with the infinite. You have taken this birth for that purpose only. Now you forget that purpose and you're getting involved with the various experiences and you get stuck there. Then your powers become limited, your siddhi becomes limited. A master, a true master is one who has unlimited powers. Why? Because he is one with the infinite. That is the very meaning of the word Ananta. Ananta means infinite. And if you take Lord Narayana, Ananta Shayana, Ananda Shayana it is said, Ananta Shayana also. He is lying down on the infinite. Means he is firmly established in that infinite. He is a representation of the infinite. All the gods, the supreme gods are all representations of that infinite. Maha Ganapati. Maha means the supreme. Ganapati, the ruler. How powerful these words are, Incidentally, when I've been meditating with Maha Ganapati Dhyana to create that material, parallelly the next Yoga Sankirtan material has also come. That is why it is taking a little more time. Same thing happened when I was doing the Mahashiva Dhyana. First we started off with that, and then parallelly the Srihari Dhyana also came, and then I finished that first and then got into Mahashiva Dhyana. Because all these are interconnected only. So sometimes when you're working on one aspect, the other one can suddenly get awakened and that wants to manifest first. We can't fix any rules in this. Of course, the Mahaganapati Dhyana is over now. So we have started working on the next Yoga Sankirtan. Not that I started working, it is already, it came on its own. It is all for your benefit only. Probably your seeking is so powerful that it is bringing out these Yoga Sankirtan materials for you. It is so wonderful, So utilizing every experience, using every experience of your life to attain perfection. That is the sadhana of Siddhim. When he says Siddhim, we have translated it as perfection. But from a sadhana point of view, as a sadhak, using every experience to become more and more perfect, to become more and more successful. That is Siddhi. So you should practice that. Instead of looking at life as merely to go through the various experiences of life in a mechanical way. Instead of looking at life like that, many people do that. What is there in life, sir? Morning till night, we're just working. No, a yogi does not look at it like that. He sees life as an opportunity to attain that infinite siddhi, that perfection. So every experience is there to teach you. When you practice the sannyas, the true renunciation, which is renunciation of ego, I gave you many tips there. It will help you to learn from your experiences. You will start attaining perfection. When you practice this sadhana of Siddhi, that will help you to get more established in renunciation. They complement each other. That is why he has used these two words together. See, it's a master stroke when he says sannyas and siddhim at one go. And then to make you go into the depth, he says by sannyas you cannot attain siddhim. Then you will stop and you will wake up. What is the sannyas he is talking about? What is this siddhi which he is talking about? Yes, by false renunciation, by superficial renunciation, how can you attain completion? Your mind will still keep going towards the world, So, we will stop with that today. Next week, we will go into a little more depth about, or we will bring in the third word also, the samadhi gacchati, samadhi gamanam, which will add further value to these principles of sannyas and siddhim. And when we complete the picture, it's going to fill you with more power only. Week after week, when you keep absorbing the energy behind these principles, you're becoming more and more powerful. Okay, so before we do the meditation, I'll just take up a small question. This is actually not a question, this is a mail which I had received. First of all, I received a lot of messages and mails wishing a happy new year, and I want to wish all the sadhaks, may this year be the best in all the sense for you. Spiritual, material, no difference between spirituality and materiality. Okay. See, even if I don't come and wish here formally, because see, we are dealing with such high principles, I may forget these formalities here and there. Don't be bothered about all that. Remember, when you wish, you get back the wishes, whether it is expressed or not. Okay, so this mail has been sent by again Vinduja. There is something which I wanted to mention here for all the sadhaks. So Hari Om Yogishri, as 2022 comes to an end, it feels like an occasion to offer my gratitude. Yes, excellent start. The start to the year should be with gratitude only. Good, Vinduja. This year, though, has been very difficult in a lot of ways. I have achieved a lot more than I could imagine. I am getting closer to my dreams. See, it is not only to Vinduja, to all others, especially youngsters. When you say this year has been quite tough and all that, I am very happy for you. Because it is only in tough situations you can practice these principles and grow. As a youngster, if everything is given to you on a platter, no, you will never grow. So I am so happy if you have challenges. I am not wishing that you should get more challenges. What I am trying to say is, if things are tough for you externally, that is the time you should apply these principles and establish yourself as a sadhak and master the circumstances. So that is what he is saying. I have achieved a lot more. Even though it has been difficult, I have achieved a lot more than I could imagine. So she has just basically written 2-3 things like she has got a legal job. You've written, I didn't expect it, but after Anandoham, the Infinite Happiness Empowerment course, I actually did achieve that. Yes, that is the power of these empowerment courses. They help you to fulfill your dreams on one hand, and at the same time, they also help you to move towards the infinite. That higher Shakti is being invoked. No? So when the karmic blocks are removed, see, every empowerment program is focused on burning up of karmas. So when the karmic blocks are removed, you will find your goals getting materialized automatically. And then she has also written that she's planning to get married this year. Excellent, and all that is in good relationships with everyone. Now, the main thing which I am coming to is, finally what you've written is hoping 2023. By mistake you've typed it as 2022. So you've written hoping 2023 spreads more cheer, good health, wealth, happiness and joy. Thank you so much for everything, Yogishri. Regards, Vinduja. See, it is very good that you're visualizing cheer, good health, wealth, happiness and joy. Whatever more you can add also you can add. But the only thing which I want you to be careful about is you have used the word hoping. That I hope that 2023 will bring more of all these things. As a sadhak, stop hoping. Be sure. When you are attending these Sunday sessions regularly, when you're doing your sadhana as a sadhak, when you have awakened the higher Shakti through the empowerments, when the Guru Shakti is there to guide you, nothing is impossible. This is a message to not only Vinduja, but all the youngsters and even others also. Especially, I wanted to focus on youngsters with respect to this, because you are all starting your lives. If you start off with limitations, that is not good. Anything is possible, provided you put in the right kind of effort. That is the confidence which you should get, which you should gain as a sadhak. So all youngsters can make a special note of this. Don't hope. Be sure. And when you are sure, all the energies from the cosmos will come and support you, will help you fulfill your dreams, help you achieve your goals. The Guru Shakti is always there to help you. You only have to surrender and open up. So, it is not about the male. I'm asking you to take it away, to change that energy pattern in your mind. That is the sadhana for this year. The New Year message some people have asked. Come out of hopes and start becoming sure, because this wisdom is designed to bring out the infinite potential from within you. Then why do you need to hope? See, the moment you're hoping, you're not sure. You're putting limitations on yourself. Fix goals and be sure you will achieve them. Put in all the efforts. You have to do your karma. Just if you're lying down on the bed and say, I'm sure I will achieve it, nothing will happen. And the Guru Shakti will work. It will help you dissolve the various blocks and bring in more opportunities in your life. Okay. So make a note of that. All sadhaks can make a note of this. This is a very powerful message. Start the year with that. So now we'll do the meditation. Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. with every breath, I am becoming more and more relaxed. Absorb and feel the divine vibrations. With every breath, I am going deep into myself. I am not this physical body. I am not these various emotions and thoughts. I am that supreme, infinite self. My ultimate purpose is to achieve Ananta Siddhi, infinite perfection. I choose to do my sadhana diligently and transform myself internally. I am Swayam Prakashit, self-illuminating. Offer your gratitude to God Supreme. Offer your gratitude to your Guru and all the holy masters. Slowly come back. Wriggle your fingers, your toes. Rub your palms together to create a warmth. Cup your eyes with your palms. Gently rub your eyes, cheeks, forehead, top of the head, back of the head and neck. Slowly open your eyes. Welcome back. It was a very powerful session today. These principles are so profound. They elevate you, they elevate your consciousness. When you absorb the energy behind, you're very fortunate that this yogic approach is being used. For the first time, actually, the secrets of this yogic approach is being revealed. Make use of this opportunity fully. It is not about hair splitting a word, and it's not all that. That is merely that the yogic approach. It is the energy behind. Now, that you cannot find it anywhere else, So reflect on the points which were given to you and come back next week. We will go into more depth here, and also after that we'll continue further in the journey of this third chapter. It's a beautiful inner journey. Okay? So thank you very much. Hari Om.